Welcome to the Becoming You show with me, your host, Leah Roling. Do you believe you are capable of choosing your future? Sometimes it takes just one person to believe in you, or you to believe in yourself. If you find yourself continuing to say, someday I will take better care of myself, only to continue living the same day over and over and over again, then you, my friend, are in the right place. I am your biggest cheerleader, inspiring you to become you on purpose and with intention. Are you ready to create a life you love? I'm excited to share with you some big ideas that you can use today to inspire, impact, and influence your life and everyone in it. The Becoming You show starts now. Hello, my friends. How are you? How was your week? How was your month? You know, I always geek out on an end of a month, the start of a new month. But have you thought about it? Have you reflected on it? What went well? What didn't? What do you want to do maybe better next month? Maybe it's a habit that you want to start. Maybe it's a habit that you want to stop. Maybe it's just celebrating the habits that you continue to do every day that make your life better for yourself and for everyone in it. Can you add a little more gratitude about your day and in your week? Can you decide what you want to take on purpose and boundary every single yes, so you don't overcommit yourself with the holiday season coming? Can you get really purposeful about what you want to take on and what you might not want to take on? The holidays are amazing and incredible, and they can also be incredibly overwhelming and exhausting. And I really want you to choose intentionally what you want to do. And just because you've always done it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do it. So I want you to choose on purpose how you want to finish this year, how you want to start next month, end next month, and really end this year stronger than maybe even you started it. So the question that I want to talk about today is, did you bring the energy to your days, to your month, regardless of your circumstances, regardless of whether or not people let you down, regardless of whether or not you succeeded on that task, regardless of how anyone else's energy was? Did you honor and cultivate and share yours freely? And if not, it's okay. That's what we get to chat about today. Energy. Specifically, how we honor it, how we cultivate it, and how we share it, express it into the world. As a mindset coach, people assume that the very most important thing that I teach is that of brain health, cognitive patterns, and programming. And while that is super, super, super important, it is not as important as this conversation that we're going to have today around energy. Energy is everything. Without energy, you don't have the space, the freedom to manage your mind in the way that I teach. So you can know all the tools, the loops, the patterns, the frameworks, but you can't access it in burnout. You can't access it in exhaust. You can't access it without energy. And if you are like me, you get stuck in this burnout loop, adding more things to an already full plate in hopes that it will make you feel better, in hopes that it will solve for the overwhelm. And we find ourselves running in circles, getting absolutely nowhere. And now we're tired, cranky, and unfulfilled. Others just shut down entirely. They just give up. They assume nothing will work because nothing ever has. And we stay sane, comfortable, perhaps even feel dull, unmotivated, uninspired, and question at the end of our day, what is this all for? And if you've been listening to me for a while, you know it's because you want more for your life. You want joy. You want fulfillment. You want your journey to mean something for you. You want to have the impact and the influence, not only on your life, but on the life of others. So how do we make energy a daily practice? How do we protect it? How do we summon it to influence our life in the way that we know it can? 3 things. Honoring it. Energy is just not something that would be nice to have. It is the most important thing to have. We need to understand that energy is like money. You can create it and you can spend it. And just like with money, if you overspend it, you will have debt. This debt is burnout. Burnout exists when we overspend our energy. And the best way to honor your energy is to look at your commitments that you currently have. I get it. We live in a culture where doing more seems to be better, where we feel as if everything is on our shoulders. And if we don't do it, who will? So many of my clients I work with on the daily feel as if it is all on them, that they would be letting other people down if they didn't say yes. And I want to be sensitive to the fact that there will most likely be seasons of commitment completion. But how we take care of ourselves along the way is the honoring piece of this conversation. There are a lot of factors to consider when you are looking at your commitments. One of my favorite edits is to really think about whether or not they are commitments that need to be done by you. So much of the items on our to-do list, either 1, don't need to be done by us, or 2, don't need to be done, period. So if you haven't done a to-do list audit, I would highly encourage you to do it. There's no right or wrong way. I like to take a piece of paper. I like simple. I like to write. I like paper. But I like to take a piece of paper and divide it into 2 columns, personal and professional. Then I literally write everything my brain thinks I need to do in both columns. And then I go back and dissect every line and mark accordingly. A blue check means that I need to do it. It doesn't matter what color, you just get to pick the color. A blue check means that I need to do it, and I really question it. Just because I've always done it is not a reason. Just because I think that I would do better at it than someone else is not a reason. And just because it's easier if I just do it myself, not a reason. Okay, a red check next to the list means that it is something that is timely and it needs to be done this week, no matter what. When you know that it's yours to do with the blue check and it's yours to do with the red check this week, it helps with priorities. It helps to get really clear on the tasks that absolutely have to get done. So we create space for inevitable issues that come up along the way. Unexpected detours, additional stressors that will no doubt zap your energy. And if we deem everything on our to-do list a priority, we will no doubt burn ourselves out by Wednesday. And if you have more priorities each day, then you have blocked time to do them on your schedule. We just need to revisit the list. We need to get super clear on what is important and edit accordingly. And then green checks. Green check means that it is something that we want to do, that we are going to put ourselves in a position to do, but it's nothing that we need to get done this week. And they become tasks then that if we do have extra time, a priority, we can fit them in and invite them back into our schedules. And if we don't, we can make them a priority for the next week. And again, I want you to really take some time thinking about whether or not these green tasks actually need to be done. And more importantly, if they need to be done by you. And if you keep flipping green tasks to the next week, to the next week, to the next week, maybe consider one, they're not a task that needs to be done. Two, they're too big of a task. Meaning, whenever you have it in your calendar, like write book, it's too big. You don't even know where to start. A lot of times our tasks need to be chunked out into subtasks, and even our subtasks need to be tasked out into smaller tasks so we can actually fit them in an hour slot on our calendar. And what I find when we do this, when you get really clear on your commitments, they help you boundary your time. What you say yes to needs to be protected by what you have bandwidth for. And my simple litmus test for this is, if I do not have time in my planner for the priorities that are going to move my goals forward and for cultivating my energy, which is what we're going to talk about next, the answer is just no. It just has to be. The cost is too expensive. My relationships with my health, my well-being, it's just too costly to overcommit, to burn out, because then I'm not doing a very good job in what I'm yesing to, and I'm certainly not doing a very good job on my yes to my life. We honor our energy by understanding our commitments, by prioritizing our tasks and having boundaries around our yes. And we also honor our energy by planning and scheduling block time for the energy habits that I want to talk about next. So what are energy habits? How do we cultivate energy? And again, I believe energy is like money. We have to both create it and protect it, which is honoring it. With money, we either spend it, make it, or have it. The same is true for energy. So how do we make it? How do we cultivate more of it? Here's the truth. You know, nothing I'm going to share with you about creating energy is all that thought-provoking. I'm sorry. We all know what we need to do, but we don't often always do what we know. And so my hope is that by understanding how important energy is to creating your very best life, your livelihood, your essence, that you might choose to create some practices around the simple principles that I'm going to share. And I know you've heard this before. I've said it 1,000 times, but common sense is not common practice. And that is why so much of our potential is lost to us not committing to do the simple things. And it's also why success is uncommon. So let's keep it simple, but let's do it consistently. And realize that if it is easy to do, it is also easy not to do. So guess what? It goes back up to the first one, honoring it. It has to be planned. If these principles that I'm going to share with you are not practiced in your life automatically, as in they are habits like brushing your teeth and making your bed, you are going to want to put them in your calendar. You're going to want to block time for them, habit stack them, and commit to them. Because when they're in your calendar and that next person asks you to do something and you look at your calendar and these M's are in your calendar, you're going to realize that you don't actually have a lot of time to over yes yourself. Okay, so 3 M's: movement, meals, and mindfulness. So movement. Are you moving your body? Are you exercising? And let's not forget that moving your body comes in many, many forms. So if you are injured, is there something you can do? Most likely. But so many of us excuse ourselves out of movement because we can't, because we have a twisted ankle, because we have a pulled rotator cuff, right? There's a lot of other things that we can do. We can stretch, we can walk, we can move in a functional way. It doesn't have to be high cardio and heavy strength, unless of course you love it. It doesn't matter so much what you do, just that you do something. And I know that, especially for me in my exercise journey, it's changed. I used to run. I used to do tries. I used to do programming in classes. And this summer and these last couple of months, I haven't done that. But I still block out time, even if it's just 20 minutes, to walk and to do what I call my 150, which is just 150 reps of something. Or I break it up, 50 sit-ups, 50 squats, 50 push-ups. But I just move my body in a way that is honoring to it. Okay? Meals. How are you fueling your body? What are you putting in? Are you putting in foods that will restore energy or that will take more energy to process? Food is either something that is healing or it isn't. And I'm all about all the foods. But can you, for the sake of this energy conversation, create an 80-20 practice for yourself? Can you most of the time think about food for fuel? Does this serve me? Just like thought work. Does this serve me? Does this fit me? Does this look good on me? Does this honor me? And if the answer is no, can we, without judgment, without judging ourselves as bad or the food as bad, just choose differently? This is why I like to think of my food ahead of time. Because when we choose ahead of time what we're going to eat, we don't get sidetracked with the instant gratification of what is there. Rather, you have chosen with your prefrontal cortex, your future loving part of your brain. Yes, your prefrontal cortex wants what's best for your future. It is taking care of your future you. It is setting your future you up for all of the successes that it has in mind for you. And it knows that fast food and soda is probably not what's best for you. But without a plan, that is your primitive brain. That will pick it for sure. Your primitive brain is your toddler brain. It is the part of your brain that wants what it wants right now. It is way more concerned with your now you. It thinks that what you need right now is instant dopamine hit. It isn't thinking about how those French fries will make you feel later, how those French fries will make it harder for you to feel energized, how those French fries will no doubt sabotage the next choices that you make. And please don't hear me say, don't eat French fries. That would be devastating for me personally. I just want you to choose them on purpose. Plan them into your meals consciously. So that's meals. Mindfulness is the last of the 3 M's. And I lump a bunch of practices into this principle of mindfulness. But it basically, I want you to give your intention to your energy practices. For me, I want to be mindful of my sleep and my sleep routine. Brendon Burchard has this 3-2-1 sleep ritual that I kind of like to take and make my own. 3 hours before sleep, there's no eating. 2 hours before sleep, there's no work. And 1 hour before sleep, there's no screen time. No eating, no working, no screens. 3-2-1. It doesn't matter what routine practices that you have cultivated around your sleep. It's just important that you have one. You need to have a sleep ritual to inform your brain that it is time for rest, to get it set up so that you can have the most successful sleep. Because it is a huge indicator of whether or not you wake up rested or not. And whether you wake up rested or not will determine the amount of energy you bring to the day, to the moment, to the minute, to the kitchen counter with your kids. with your husband, with your wife, with all of the people that need you, that want you, that rely on you to bring the energy to the day. We've got to get a grip on our sleep. We've got to create a sleep habit, a sleep ritual. I also want to be mindful of my relationships. How intentional am I being with them? When was the last time you thought about them? Your kids, your spouse, your friends. I want it to be something that's super top of mind. They are an important piece of our overall well-being and our energy. Whether it's quality tuck-ins with my kiddos, or date night with my husband, or girl time with my friends, daily walks with my dog, self-reflection time for myself, reaching out daily to 2, 3, 4 people by way of text or voice messaging to stay connected to them. That brings energy. I want us to be mindful of our meditative practice, how we participate in a parasympathetic state re-energizes us. We make meditation really confusing. It doesn't have to be. It is, again, it's like all the other principles and practices that I've shared. It doesn't matter so much what you do, just that you do something. Keep it simple. When we try to overcomplicate, our brain wants to be confused by it. And then, like working out, we have decision fatigue. Where do I go? What do I do? What class will I do? Will I work out in the house, out of the house? What do I wear? Will I have to drive there? How much time do I have to allot for it? No. I want working out to just not be a decision. You just do it. And then you don't have to decide if you are or not. You just take out the decision fatigue that zaps your energy. Same thing with meditation, right? Do I do a release meditation technique? Do I do something from the Calm app? Do I do something from 10% Better? Do I do my own thing? Do I do a muse meditation? It doesn't matter. All meditation is an opportunity for you to shut your eyes and breathe. You don't need anything. You don't need a tool. You don't need a pillow to do that. You literally just decide, I'm going to sit here with my eyes shut and breathe. And breathe. And breathe. That's it. And in that parasympathetic state, you give your brain an opportunity to heal. You give your brain an opportunity to not be in a sympathetic state, to not be in fight, flight, or freeze state, to not be stressed. Stressed zaps your energy. Can you give yourself little parasympathetic pit stops along the way? So we protect our energy by honoring it, by getting really clear about our commitments, our boundaries, our schedules, our time. We create energy by managing our M's, moving, meals, and mindfulness, and we express it and live into it by sharing it. We are responsible for the energy we bring to every minute. You gotta honor it. You gotta cultivate it so that you can share it. I think sometimes that summoning the energy required to meet the moment the way you want is hard. But I'd like to offer, it is not any harder than begrudgingly going through the days, looking for all the ways that people are doing it wrong, that people are wronging you, that people are exhausting, that we are powerless in our schedules and powerless in our life. And I've been on both sides. And while choosing on purpose the energy you bring into a room requires forethought and intention, it is way more empowering to be responsible for you than to delegate your emotions, your frustration, your bitterness, and your exhaust over other people. They can't, they won't take care of them, at least not in the way that you want or need them to, because they also have their own to manage. I want to invite you that energy is a practice that is available for you to honor and cultivate and share. And I don't think it's optional. It is required. Nothing is more important than that. This energetic debt keeps you stuck in your burnout, in your overwhelm, and I want more for you. So what can you do to honor your energy? What can you better do to manage your M's? Where can you better share your energy with the world? I would love to know. And if you want support and accountability in doing this life better, you've got to come to the retreat that I'm putting on in Houston next month. And I'm so excited about it. The agenda is crazy fun. We're going to talk about thought training and emotional management and relationships and money and habits and more. Everything that I cover on this podcast times 10, right? I would love to see you there. So head over to my website at www.leahroling.com/retreat to find out all sorts of information about that. www.leahroling.com/retreat. Have an amazing day. Finish this month strong. Start November stronger. And I will see you next week. Have an amazing one. Take care. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to the Becoming You show with me, your host, Leah Roling, where I share big ideas to inspire, impact, and influence your life. Tune in every Friday at 11 Central on transformationtalkradio.com for your morning cup of coffee, the hug you never want to end, and that inspirational message that you felt was written just for you. Each show is inspiring you to become you with purpose and intention. For more information or to connect with me, visit www.leahroling.com.